LG just launched their latest flagship phone, the G6, at Mobile World Congress last month. They were also kind enough to let me borrow one and test it out. So I've been using it as my daily phone for long enough now. I think it's now time we can do a review. I've gotten more compliments on this phone than I have on any other phone I've used in a while, and it's not really a surprise. Look at it. From the ultra-thin bezels to the taller frame, the machined aluminum sides, and the glass-covered metal back, and especially in that titanium color, it's a sexy phone. On top of the clean-looking frame, we have a unique screen. What makes it so unique is the aspect ratio. Now, LG calls it 18:9, but as many of you have pointed out in the comments on my hands-on of the LG G6, technically that could be called 2:1, which means that the screen is exactly twice as tall as it is wide. The benefit of this is that it gives you a larger viewing area while still making the phone easier to use with one hand. During the initial launch event, LG even brought on award-winning cinematographer Vittorio Storaro, who has been pushing this concept of 2:1, 18:9 aspect ratios for TVs, films, etc. since 1998. To explain his reasoning for why the phone's screen should also be that way. Essentially, it's about film and where we view content. HD video, that of 1080p and 4K that most digital devices shoot in, has an aspect ratio of 16:9 or 1.78:1. Whereas large format movies can be shot on as large as 65mm film, which has an aspect ratio of 2.2:1. Now this change in aspect ratio, along with all the other formats for film and their aspect ratios, means that depending on whether we see it in a theater or on our laptop, phone, tablet screen, the image has to be cropped to fit, and as a filmmaker, he strongly believes that the way he shot the film should be the way you ultimately view it. And 18:9 or 2:1 ended up kind of being a pretty good average between 16:9, which is 1.78, and the 65mm film, 2.2. There's a lot more to this 2:1 aspect ratio. Some of it even comes down to the fact that current film itself, physically, can still fit that aspect ratio, so it could be reused, etc. But if you want to read more about that, it's called Univisium, and I've left a link to the Wikipedia article below. Regardless of Storaro's reasoning, smaller phone, bigger screen, check. Now the screen itself is 5.7 inches with a resolution of 2880 by 1440. Dolby Vision, Dolby's software to produce better imaging according to them, and it also has HDR. Now HDR is a term you might be hearing a lot of lately, and I expect to be hearing more and more of it as the year goes on. This term, which is now going to be starting to be touted as like 4K is, stands for high dynamic range, and it means that essentially the screen can produce much higher contrast ratios, brighter colors, etc. And there's even a bunch of TVs that are now being launched with it as well. To illustrate the differences, here is the Life of Pi movie trailer in HDR on my 4K non-HDR monitor, and the same trailer on the LG G6. Now it might be hard to tell on camera, but the G6's screen has a bit more color and contrast compared to my monitor. Besides the screen, the speaker on the device is decent, not amazing, not terribly loud, but decent enough for watching a video without any headphones if you need. The camera is also a bit unique. LG went the dual camera route as HTC, and more recently Apple have done with the iPhone 7 Plus, but they went about it in a bit of a different way. Instead of, like the 7 Plus, having a normal angle lens and a telephoto lens, LG gave the G6 a normal angled lens and a wide angle lens. Both are 13 megapixels in resolution, by the way. Neither option is better or worse in my opinion. It really just comes down to the shot that you want. The telephoto on the iPhone 7 Plus will allow you to get closer to your subject without losing the quality you would if you were using the digital zoom, like pinching to zoom in. And the G6 will let you get a lot more in the shot when you use the wide angle lens. Now either way, the wide angle dual camera setup versus not having the option is kind of cool. When in Barcelona, I was able to get some really cool shots with both, and being able to switch between them depending on the need is great. It's sort of like having multiple lenses for my DSLR without having to actually disconnect and connect them. The front camera, of which there is only one, is a wide angle 5 megapixel camera, which is wider than most front facing cameras, which, considering we're usually using them for selfies, makes sense. It's good to have to get more people in the shot as well, or even if you're just trying to show more of the scenery behind you in your selfie. Just be careful to not get too close to it, because just like a GoPro or any other wide angle camera lenses, it will tend to also make you slightly wider if you get too close. The G6 also has a micro SD card slot, which is a nice addition to help with storing all of the photos. The device is running Android 7.0 with LG's UX 6.0 on top of it. Now, I probably sound like a broken record, but I'm not a big fan of the UIs that all of the manufacturers tend to put on top of Android. I get why they do it. They want to differentiate themselves from like the sea of all the other Android phones out there. I just personally prefer hardware differentiators over software. I also like the speed and the look of Android's stock operating system as well. Now with that said though, LG's new skin at least isn't all encompassing like Samsung's usually is, and definitely not as performance hindering. But the general aesthetic of it is a bit bubblier than I like in my opinion. You can thankfully though use themes that LG has, or even do what I do and put on a custom launcher, custom messaging apps, keyboards, etc. to change the majority of the things, as is the beauty of Android. Which I kind of do on all of my Android phones, but that's my personal preference, so it's really up to you. Beyond the look of the software, the device has a Snapdragon 821 processor and 4 gigs of RAM, and I have to admit it's pretty snappy and doesn't noticeably lag when doing anything that I normally do. Powering all of this is a 3300 milliamp non-removable battery that is not the greatest, but usually it lasts me from when I wake up to when I go to sleep, which is all I really care about. Ultimately, I like the G6. I think it's super unique in its screen and even its look. It feels and acts like a premium device, and it also looks really good. Like seriously, people have stopped me and been like, oh, the phone looks good. You know, like, it's cool. And also that titanium color, by the way, stands out a little bit more than say the black. Just my opinion, up to you. But it's also snappy, it performs well. It has a great camera and has that wide angle option, which is a neat little feature to have should you be interested in that. Ultimately, I think it's definitely a comeback for LG into the premium phone market. And I definitely think it's gonna make this shortlist for most people's best smartphones of 2017. There you guys, my review of the LG G6. Let me know what you guys think of this phone, of this review, of me. Be nice in the comments below. Love to hear from you guys. And if you like this video, please thumbs up it or share it. It is greatly appreciated. And if you want more videos like this, please check out my channel. There's going to be a link floating around here somewhere. Click on that. You'll be taken to my channel page. And if you like what you see there, please subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching.